dear. That was not the sort of game I hoped to come home to. I'm back in England. I'm feeling horribly jet lagged. The result today has done little to improve my mood. 2-1 to Spurs. I've got to give them credit. They played really well. I think as Arsenal fans, we're probably sometimes guilty of constantly analysing our own performance instead of looking at the other team. And they were excellent today. It pains me to say it, but they played really well with a real intensity. Back to front, I thought in midfield, Ryan Mason was very good. Obviously, Harry Kane played well up top as well, and they were just better than us. Oh, God, that's a horrible thing to say, isn't it? But they wanted it more. We couldn't match them, really, for long periods of the game. And had we won, as it looked like we might, leading at half-time, it would have been an absolute steal. I think what we saw today is some of the limitations of the defensive, more cautious approach we used against Manchester City. Basically, it depends on fine margins. You know when you play like that, you're probably going to create less chances. It's important you're much more efficient in the final third. We weren't efficient today. We didn't have... The touches weren't quite right. The interplay from the front three wasn't quite there. So we weren't able to take advantages of the few opportunities we did create on the break. And I suppose the question becomes, is it right to set up in that way against Spurs? Going to the Etihad is one thing. Is going to White Hart Lane as big a test? Do you need to play in quite the same manner? Don't know. Thing is, if we hold on and don't concede two relatively sloppy goals, then we're all heralding the manager as a genius again. Very tricky. I don't massively want to concentrate on individuals. I did have some concerns, I have to say, about David Ospina. I know he made a lot of good saves, but for me there is a trait in his game which is a little bit worrying, just that he's got quite hard hands, and by that what I mean is goalkeeper's soft hand gathers the ball, is able to keep it into themselves, and I feel like he palms away a lot, but more worryingly, he'll do so into dangerous areas. He made several good saves where the ball rebounded into an area where Spurs actually were presented with another chance. I think making the save is only half the job. I don't think he should be dropped. I'm just saying if there's an area for him to improve, for me that would be it. What else? Harry Kane, yeah. He's like something from a nightmare, isn't he? I mean, he reminds me of Disneyland, because I was in Disneyland earlier this week and they have a show there in the evening where Mickey Mouse has a nightmare. It's like a light and sound show, and he has like a nightmare that comes to life. And watching Harry Kane play football is very much like that. He's like something from the darkest depths of my imagination, who's actually now walking the earth and scoring goals in derby matches. It's worrying. It's particularly worrying because I think he's in the sweet spot where he's good enough to make Spurs better, but not quite good enough that we can rely on someone like Real Madrid to buy him. I mean, he's too ugly to play for Real Madrid anyway. I think they've got a rule about that sort of thing. Anyway, Leicester next, but I mean, yeah, today hurts. That's it really, isn't it?